data into those CRM systems, so it's relevant on how you're marketing and keeping that relationship with someone. Web ads, I'll give you in a minute of a little tool we built for Craigslist to make Craigslist a much more easy-to-use format and more as a way to drive leads and traffic back to agent websites. Print ads, even in our market, there's still a little bit of print. We even have our local newspaper that's getting listing data now and creating dynamic ads online for print. And things like Quantum's doing with direct mail and those kind of things, we're participating in that as well because we think it's smart. And business tools, it could be financial management tools and other kind of transaction management tools that we can integrate data. Wherever we can integrate data in, it really benefits our agents. It could be the simplest little thing. We do on our intranet when and we manage our own intranet, so it gives us a lot of flexibility to create what we want. Every outside vendor we work with, it's all single sign-on. And we have a central database so that agents aren't remembering this password over here and this username. And it may sound simple, but it's a really big deal because it makes the systems really easy to use for agents. Let me give you an example of something we do with listing data. Okay, we have a little tool for Craigslist that actually, if any of you use Postlets, we created our own little version of this that's free to agents. An agent would go into our intranet system. We call it the ad builder for Craigslist. An agent would go in. We already know who they are. We have all their listing data. There's a drop-down menu. They click what listing they want to create an ad for. They click that listing. They click to create an ad. We create a full HTML actual Craigslist ad that gets copied onto their desktop. They go into their Craigslist account, right-click, and hit paste, and it's done. And the ad comes up on the right here. It has the first 5 MLS photos. It's got all the property details. From a branding standpoint, now we have a consistent branding. It's got the right disclosures on it, which is a big issue with Craigslist. People aren't, for some reason, they figure they're on Craigslist and they don't need to upload that information and have the right, fair housing and all those things on it. And the nice thing about this is this links back to the agents' websites that are on our platform, so it's all integrated, and it drives traffic back to the agents. This literally takes an agent about 45 seconds to create this ad. Craigslist is now in our top 5 referring websites to all our agents. We get thousands and thousands of hits off of Craigslist a month. I got to tell you, if we didn't build this tool to make it easy with the listing data in it already, I guarantee you 2/3 of our agents would not be doing this. It's just that we made it very easy. One of the things with our company we really believe in is holding ourselves accountable for helping our agents. We actually create a dashboard report every month. We track usage on every single tool we have. There was a conversation yesterday about what's the value if nobody uses your tools. We take it very seriously, and my whole team does. And we actually have a report every month that we spit out that tracks every tool, how many times it was used, by who. We don't just share it with ourselves. It goes to the rest of the executive management team. We share it with all our branch managers because we want them engaged in our tools. And they don't even realize half the time before we did this that something was being used as much as it was. Okay? Or if we have a new, for some reason, a drop in a tool, we can re-energize them and retrain them about how to go back at it. Our managers have taken that report and actually use it as a recruiting opportunity when they're meeting with agents to talk about the benefits our agents get. They're showing real live usage of our tools. This year, we get over 1,000, out of our agent base, we get over 1,000 ads a month that get created using this. So we've done a pretty good job because we've made it easy. So that's one example. From a training standpoint, I know a lot of the franchise brands, and we franchise too, so we have 20 some odd franchise offices, so we're trying to build a system around that to support not only company-owned locations, but them as well. But, we're using, a little bit of distance learning and trying to use some accessible technology to help us with it. And we're building out our intranet as also a training portal, okay? We started doing webinars about a year and a half ago. It's really cheap to use GoToWebinar. It works really well. We hold 1 to 2 a week. And it's all of our staff who are experts in certain areas, or we'll have vendors or agents come on and do them. And we started, and it worked really well. We're pretty spread out in southern Arizona and now in Phoenix. And it was really convenient for everybody not have to drive all over town. We still do live training. I think I agree with you, Ken, there's still value in that. But there are a lot of things we can do distance learning on. And we do, and every time we do them, we actually record them. If we're going to go through the work of teaching, we might as well archive it. And so we built a whole library of all of our training. And we never really promoted it. We just put it on our intranet. We get over 1,000 views a month of our training classes. And a lot of the training is about how to use our tools. So that's that. We're starting to do short video podcasts internally about best practices and those things to use with our agents. And we've just partnered up with David Knox to integrate his whole system of, he has over 100 sales training videos that we're integrating into our intranet system to make that kind of training really accessible for our agents as well. So this is one way you can build out your intranet using training content. The one I wanted to spend a couple minutes on, I think, is probably the most significant of all of them, is creating an online community for your company. I'm a big believer that real estate is a collaborative type of business. Okay? We've had a culture in our company of collaboration, good collaboration, our agents working together, to put deals together and help buyers and sellers. And we saw a real opportunity to layer technology over that to enhance that collaboration across the entire organization. So about 4 months ago, we started a program called Long Connects, and it's our own internal social media intranet, if you will. And the technology behind it is called, we're using Intelligent Community is the actual software platform we're using. And the reason we looked at a lot of different systems, the reason we really like that is because it totally integrates on the back end. We have a lot of control over integrating with our databases and our intranet. What's happening in the system? Well, what kind of information is being shared? A couple things. There's a lot of dialogue, and I'll show you some examples in a second, of best practices, agents sharing with other agents how I did this or how I did that. People asking questions of other agents. How did you do this? How did you do that? Foreclosures and short sales is a big topic right now. We have people going on there saying, I'm struggling with this bank and this lender. Who else? Has anybody had success with them? And somebody else from another office jumps on and said, yes, we did this, call this person, and it worked, and they help each other out. And it really works. A lot of buyer and seller needs. There's a lot of, agent, I'm working with a buyer, and I've seen everything in MLS, and I'm looking, anybody have a pocket listing or something coming on the market, and there's a lot of dialogue through the system about that. There's listings that people can have conversations about something's changed with a listing or something coming on the market, price changes, open houses, a lot of collaboration on open houses, but it really creates a place where we can have, I call it realtor shop talk. And a lot of these are conversations that I see happening on Facebook and in public environments that when you're talking about transactions aren't really, the right place to have some of those conversations. This gives us a place to have a business-focused real estate conversation inside the company. Real estate information, what's happening in the industry, in our state, events and news in the company and at the office level. One of the nice things about this system, the flexibility it gives us, is we have different grouping levels. We have everybody in the company in one group, and we can have branches each have their own group, so they keep their own culture and have their own, they can have their own dialogue at a branch level. We can bring it all the way down to 2 agents in an accountability group or a team having their own area of the system just to have their own conversations and share content. And community information, that happens a lot at a branch level. The dashboard, the system is very dashboard, kind of like, it's pretty easy to navigate. The user interface, it's very social media. If you're using Facebook and those things, it's pretty easy to use the system. Kind of some of the tools that are in this platform that we like, that we've integrated in, is one of the biggest ones is forums. We have a lot of control to create forums we want on different topics at different group or company-wide levels. Groups, I kind of mentioned that. It gives us a lot of flexibility to create subsets of the system where people can get together and collaborate. Media files, whether it's video, documents, photography, there's a way to share that in the system internally. Conversations, kind of like a Facebook inbox where you can have more one-on-one or one-to-few conversations in the system. We have internal blogs in the system, so our designated broker has a blog called The Broker Buzz, where he talks about things going on in the state and real estate and those kind of things. We have a marketing blog. We're sharing tips and best practices. I kind of view this as becoming a giant content library. Okay? If you think about it, if you're ever looking for a piece of software and you're trying to research a piece of hardware or software, you go online, a lot of these sites, it's user-generated content you're reading, right? It's other users giving you tips about how to use this or how to use that. I view this as the same for real estate. I view it as this is creating a giant library of content about best practices and how to conduct business and interacting with each other that's searchable. And the system has a keyword search that wraps around the whole thing, so I can go in and type in short sales and see all the relevant conversations about short sales and what's happening. So we view this as part of our training platform ongoing. It's a content library. Email notifications, I can, subscribe to specific messages and conversations or forums, and the system will proactively email me so I can keep up on things I want to hear about. And you can friend people and follow people and that kind of thing. This is a specific example. Maybe